Hi guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, I connect without an epiphany, a mind explosion. Please consider supporting my work. The links are down below in the description. AlleyCatCreations211.com is where you could see all my artwork. Holidays are coming up. If you want something unique and one of a kind, for not that expensive, go check out my website. And that's another way you can help me and support me. And I would like to give a big shout out to Debbie. Sorry if I messed your name up, Debbie, who helped me out in a big way so I could feed myself. Fantastic. Because school lunch only goes so far, and today I didn't eat the school lunch. Um, I'm still very under the weather. I got my blood results back for the non-life insurance, but health insurance that they make you do. And I am a clean bill of health. Besides, I gotta just figure out my thyroid and my kidneys. Um, some levels are two levels are like not good. Everything on the ticker is good and inflammation, but I knew this. So yeah. Fun times in the fun world that we're in. Um, just before I begin, after Halloween, I'm just gonna shoot more applications out. If someone picks me up, once again, I don't know how long I'll be. My channel's gonna be here. I'm not disappearing, but I don't know how many videos I'm gonna be getting in. I don't know what days I'll be working, if whatever is available. I don't know. Um, I'm trying to make it so that I still have like time to sleep. I'm exhausted as it is today. I got bit really hard in my shoulder earlier this morning, which was not fun. Um, mm, gotta love my life right now. All for a purpose. But The Voice of Isis, Chapter 2, The Cycle of Fulfillment. Quote, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." End quote. St. Matthew. Now, before I get into this, because I'm just seeing the amazement in the next couple of paragraphs and just things that are popping out at me. Fuck. Buckle up, guys. This is fucking intense and amazing. Now you're going to know how aged this book is. The year 1912 marks the beginning of a most important era in the history of the world. As the Earth, in its yearly journey around the sun, passes through a sign of the zodiac each month, so does our solar system during its great journey around the central sun of this universe, Alcyone. Pass through each sign of the zodiac, but in this greater cycle, instead of a month, our solar system requires approximately 2,170 years to traverse each sign. So if we now can do the math from 1912, we'll go further, but brain alarm alert already. What was 2012? What zodiac sign did we leave? Where are we now? Are we in Aquarius? In this great journey our solar system has reached and is now entering the sign Aquarius. The men from the east, one of the four secret animals of Ezekiel and the Apocalypse, also one of the four great divisions of the mundane cross. On February 7th, 1912, the mystic planet Uranus, also entered this sign, its own house, where it will remain about 7 years. Hence, the year 1912 marks the beginning of the first period of the cycle of fulfillment for this present subrace. Now, are we entering the age of Aquarius or just the sign of Aquarius? Because we do that all the time when it comes February, right? Very interesting. If we have mathematicians out there that would like to do the math on this, holy shitballs. Where would that be? Hang on, I want to do some math. Because I can't do math in my head, like seriously, and I have to do everything by calculator so I see it properly. The next time, according to this, we don't need to be right, but instead of a month, our solar cycle requires approximately, so the solar cycle. So the next time we go into a solar cycle will be in 4082. Interesting. The word fulfillment sends a thrill of joy through the heart, but let us consider a wider meaning of the word. A fulfillment is just compensation for that which has been accomplished or attempted, a reaping of that which has been sown, both good and evil. A fulfillment is not a recompense for mere suffering endured, for suffering of itself has no purifying, uplifting power. It is uplifting only when the lesson which necessitated it has been learned and the lacking soul quality has been built into the character. This planet has passed through much suffering and has had its lessons to learn, both as a living entity, the informing principle of the planet, and through its inhabitants. Moses, the great lawgiver, commanded the Lord's chosen people that after the completion of every seventh Sabbath of years, they should celebrate the following year as a year of Jubilee. The mystic cycle, observed literally every 15th year, has the same significance as a cycle of fulfillment. During the year of Jubilee, all debtors were released from prison and all slaves set free. And in this cycle of fulfillment, all the forces, powers, and capacities within the individual, the race, and the planet, which have been imprisoned for indebtedness to the law, will be released. This does not mean, however, that any will be exempt from paying karmic debts, but that those who were imprisoned to the law for debts will be released or given an opportunity to work them out during this period. That doesn't happen anymore in this time. The lower aspects of all these powers and forces must first be reaped and the adjustment made upon the lower planes, or the higher phases of the fulfillment can be brought about. The reaping of the harvest has already begun, but it can be garnered into the great garnery, it must pass through the winnowing, the chaff and dirt must be blown away and only the golden grain remain. The elements have been cast into the crucible, and the fires must burn until all the baser elements rise to the surface and are removed, the gold can be purified for the king's use. The influence of Uranus in Aquarius will bring to the world many great and sudden changes, both in the physical conditions of the planet and in the mental and psychic realms of its inhabitants. A partial cataclysm occurs at the close of every age of the world, they say. which does not destroy the latter, but only changes its general appearance. New races of men and animals and a new flora evolve from the dissolution of the present ones. The earth will have to endure not only changes in climate, terrible storms, and disasters of every sort, but also cataclysmic changes in its crust, the adjustment to the new vibration is accomplished and the earth is prepared as a dwelling place for the new humanity. In the theaters right now, playing for you currently. The great law of divine harmony is forever working in sevenfold manner as 1, order, 2, compensation, 3, karma, 4, vibration, 5, cycles, 6, polarity, and 7th, balance. It will be noted that the vibration stands in the center of these manifestations of the law. It is Fohat, the breath of eternal motion, or Thor's hammer, the swastika, by the action of which the sparks of life are thrown off. The 7 aspects are like separate ingredients put into a vessel that bread may be made. Until the motion of mixing vibration brings about an amalgamation of change of conditions in the ingredients, they do not become dough but remain flour, yeast, salt, water. Thus, through vibration must the law in its entirety bring about the fulfillment of all earth conditions. Gosh, I'm channeling them. I have no choice but to think that. Everything from the planets to the tiniest grain of sand or a microscopic bacterium has its rate of vibration, keynote, and its cyclic motion. The orbits of the planets may be called their cycles of vibration, the wavelength of their oscillation, but within those great oscillations, there are many, many lesser vibrations, cycles, as the minute and second vibrate within the hour. Holy fuck, guys. This is fucking brilliant. Sorry, I'm cursing. I'm tired. A windstorm has its rate of vibration or keynote and everything within its path, while vibrating to its own keynote must vibrate in harmony with the dominant note of the storm or to be swept away. The planet, in fulfilling the law as vibration and cycles, has reached a point in the zodiac where it is entering into new conditions, where it must respond to a new keynote, the cycle of fulfillment, and to fulfill the law in its entirety or be swept away. As it responds to the new vibration, everything upon it must accommodate itself to the new conditions. The failure of certain factors to adapt themselves will bring about the storms and cataclysmic changes, which will adjust conditions to the new note with startling suddenness, just as a tree which remains rigid and refuses to adapt itself to the storm will be suddenly broken off or uprooted. Every planet in its course of development has to meet the forces sent forth from all the starry worlds and systems. Those which are in advance of it will send it overwhelming force, almost greater than it can bear, while those which are less advanced will draw from it with a grasping force. But there comes a time in the life of every planet, as well as in the life of every individual, when a crisis is reached. In the case of a planet, this point is generally reached toward the close of the 5th or the beginning of the 6th great race. Then every effort is made to tear it to pieces. All the forces, both within and without, are exerted in an attempt at disruption, an attempt to tear the planet or individual into separate fragments. Only those who can endure this great cosmic testing and come out of fury ordeal alive can survive and continue their evolution. The heavens are full of wandering comets, asteroids, and fragments of planets, all that is left of worlds which have gone to pieces under the great test. These fragments are destined to spend eons of time wandering in space, they can once more be gathered together and obtain a force necessary to become a planet, or until they are drawn into some evolving planet whose vibrations are in harmony with theirs. Everything I say, everything. We're going through this right now. What you doing, Freya? Right now. Right now. Wow. That's all I have to say. I'm dumbfounded at this moment in time. Great alchemical changes are transpiring within and around the earth that will terminate in cataclysms of periodic activity. These are not altogether maligned influences, for among the stars, astronomy and astrology agree that there are no malign and no beneficent planets. In the ordinary accepted meaning of the terms, all is cosmic law. The peculiar force exerted by every star in the firmament upon every other star is just that force which is needed for each particular star's well-being at the time. The Earth today, in entering the first period of its cycle of fulfillment, is meeting the influence of stars whose force and light have been traveling for ages and ages, excuse me, but which are only just now beginning to penetrate its atmosphere. Our light codes, folks. Some of these forces might be called malign and some beneficent, but the influence of each is necessary to the Earth's evolution. The coming of these forces is not accidental, nor are they coming in a haphazard manner. Millions and millions of eons ago, this earth was reborn, the sons of mind breathed into the evolution of this planet the breath of divine life. Ah, those distant firmaments were set in their particular and appointed places, and the influences set out from their centers were so timed as to reach the newborn earth at the exact period when those particular forces would be needed to push it toward its fulfillment. Conceive of a constant pressure exerted upon the Earth's surface from all the planets and stars at the same time, a pressure from within, a force going outward to impinge upon all the stars. As long as these forces are evenly distributed, the result is that Earth's crust becomes more and more consolidated at the same time purified. Because of this pressure, many alchemical changes are taking place. Liquids are being transformed into solids. Solids are being transmuted into gases, and gases are becoming luminous ether, and so forth. Thus, the earth is slowly being prepared to become a sun. In a present state where the earth's subject to the forces which operate through a sun, it would be instantly volatilized into a cloud of gaseous matter. It must be tested and tried, not as a punishment, but as a necessary preparation for its work as a sun. No planet can become a shining, burning sun until it has passed this crucial test, until the without and the within are perfectly balanced and have compacted it into a state that nothing can destroy, or in occult parlance, until it become the diamond heart. Only when a planet has obtained at one mint or has assimilated all the forces of the stars and planets and all the interstellar spaces can it be said to have conquered and become a sun ready to take its place in the grand procession around the central sun. The sun of this solar system is such a conqueror, and all the planets and stars of our cosmos are in varying stages or degrees of development toward the great end. So must it be with you. The pressure from without cannot harm you if the within be properly balanced. Divine neutrality at its best defined. When the forces from within are balanced, the outer pressure will only strengthen the individuality and make you better fitted to become sons of God. Keep the within balanced, and like the needle to the pole, Steadily polarized to the Christ force so that nothing can move you. Gather the forces that are sent against you, recognize them as necessary for your evolution, and turn them to your advantage. I could not word this better. How the hell did they know back in 1912 this information? Which brings me to the question, what freaking concurrent timeline are they on that they got it where 100 and some odd years later, here we the hell are. Still trying to figure this bullshit out. It was figured out for us already. Wakey time, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Wake up. God's path is neutrality because God's all things. The Christ force is neutrality because the poles are balanced. Balanced. What's happening on the planet right now? Imbalance in harmony. What's happening within most of us? Imbalance and in harmony. We're obtaining the other forces to balance us. And this is necessary for our evolution. And how many channels and people have written books based on the cataclysms and all the crazy shit that's going on in our paradigm right the fuck now, speaking everything that they just said? Hundreds. The influence which such in each star exerts is determined by the force generated by its inhabitants. Just as the influence of each individual is the sum total of the thoughts he continually harbors, mindsets here, for the aura of a man or a planet is the sum total of the thought atmosphere created by or attracted to it. Your thoughts become things, people. The influence of the earth upon the cosmos is said to be malign. The struggle for supremacy, the selfishness, the greed for gold, and the vileness into which the misuse of the serpent power has plunged its inhabitants naturally eminent a maligned influence. But nevertheless, the earth has a great potency for good, owing to the wonderful possibilities residing in a characteristic that is only just beginning to be comprehended. The result of the great test which the humanity of this globe must pass through, the earth is said to be malefic, because upon her bosom is fought out the great struggle between good and evil. It is here that the great initiator Saturn stands. This is his plane of manifestation. Here it is that humanity is confronted with the great problem of the creative power of sex and its higher possibilities, together with its temptations and its power to degrade and debase. But through the lessons learned by a terrible suffering, humanity is raised to a higher state. The overcoming and the learning of the lessons of the creative power will give not only to man, but also to the planet upon which this battle is waged, a glorious place in the cosmos. Therefore, instead of the earth being malign, the influence it sends out is one of patient endurance and determination, victory. Victory over discouragement is one of the greatest victories man can win. For this reason, the planet sends out into space the most wonderful melody of all the planets. For only here is the chord of suffering endured and discouragement conquered, blended with the keynote of the globe, the Earth being the only planet that has a bass clef of suffering to complete its chord. Whoa. The Earth is the eighth note in the celestial scale, and like the eighth note in music, When it completes one octave, law of one, it becomes the first note in a new and higher octave. Ultimately, the Earth will stand forth as the brightest sun in the system. In fact, it will become a pole star and reach into an advanced system. It will send forth an influence without which the perfect evolution of all the other planetary bodies would be incomplete. This Earth is the stage upon which is to be enacted a new and grander drama of life. And today the characters in the drama are being assembled and stage is being set. Gosh. The year 1912 is therefore but the dawn of the cycle of fulfillment. The time prophesies in the text quoted at the head of this lesson, the sign of the Son of Man. This sign is none other than the celestial sign Aquarius, into which we are now entering. The Son of Man comes into the heavens because our solar system, for the next 2,170 years, will be passing through the sign during which the forces symbolized by Aquarius will be focused upon it. And only after the purification, when all the tribes of the earth mourn, can come the power and great glory of the fulfillment of, or the attainment of the wisdom of the divine man. The sign is represented by a man pouring water upon the earth, symbolic of the fulfillment which comes as a result of the pouring out of the mother force water. In nature, water is the chief factor which makes the earth bring forth, while in man, that which is symbolized by water, the great mother principle, brings forth spiritual fruits. Since this is the cycle of fulfillment for the planet, the same conditions must necessarily affect its inhabitants. As man is the microcosm of the macrocosm, he has within himself centers which should respond to every vibration of the planet. Hence, as the earth strikes its new keynote, man must vibrate or attune himself to it, or be storm swept by his failure. Just as the fruit and leaves of certain trees are stripped from the branches by a storm, which only strengthens other trees. All nations are today feeling the necessity of adjusting themselves to the new conditions upon which humanity as a whole is entering. This is especially noticeable in the political conditions in China, Persia, Turkey, Portugal, and Mexico, and in the industrial conditions in England, Germany, France, and America. We may expect such turbulent conditions to continue until every nation makes a necessary adjustment to the note of the brotherhood of man or is swept away, as the ancient government of China has been. Within the nations, every organization and movement, whether political, economic, philanthropic, philosophical, religious, mystical, or whatnot, must be shaken to its foundations, must have all the dead leaves of old ideas and conditions stripped from it, and prove whether it be founded upon the internal principles of truth, justice, unselfishness, love, and brotherhood, or upon the dictates of selfishness, ambition, injustice, and greed. And within the ranks of all organized efforts of mankind, each individual will have to face similar testings and adjustments, modified by his or her karma, to provide the nature and worth of the principles of life he or she is following. But above all, the new conditions will affect all those who have devoted themselves to the study of the occult, who are delving into deeper mysteries of being, who are trying to live the Christ life. For out of these must be gathered the mystic 144,000, who shall have the Father's name written in their foreheads upon opening of the third eye. I was told by a few people that they see that on my head. Many individuals find themselves suffering from poverty, sickness, or persistent adversities until hope seems dead. This is because they have turned their backs upon the world and hence find all the world against them. They no longer serve the world and it no longer rewards them. They suffer because, having turned from the world, they have not yet sounded the keynote of a new life by which alone they can enter into its rewards. They are passing over the interval between the two notes, and it will be longer or shorter according to their ability to awaken to the new vibration. This period is symbolized in occult literature by the Great Abyss. There is, however, a narrow bridge over the abyss built of naked swords, which leads to the eternal city over which all must walk with bleeding feet. But there is a hand to guide and a voice to cheer you if you but seek them in the darkness. It is always darkness just before the dawn. All old karmic conditions must be swept away ere the new era can manifest. Let no earnest seeker after wisdom grow discouraged, but hold fast to the guiding hand and trust the power which shall bring him safely through. The earth could no more bear the whole force of a sun without being consumed than you as individuals or this movement today as a unit could express that which you are destined to express. Nor could you now stand in the fires of spiritual force, which you must ultimately transmit any more than the inhabitants of the earth could live upon, were it suddenly to take its place as a sun. At some period, you must be sons of righteousness, but you must grow into it. You must be brave to endure the growing pains, for you will never find the place of peace which you will balance and hold all the forces under perfect control if you cannot endure the testing. Learn the wisdom and gain the blessings that every battle holds for you. Find the place of peace. Make the pressure within evenly and perfectly balanced. That pressure from without may strengthen you. Be calm and rest in the midst of the storm. Realize that absolute calm and rest which dwells in the midst of a vortex. Repeat constantly, I am strong, I can conquer. My forces are not scattered because they are evenly balanced and under perfect control. Then will the forces that come against you form a protecting aura of strength and power, which nothing harmful can enter. Let this be your watchword. I am balanced. I am calm. If the law be with me, who can be against me? If you can gain this realization, have no fear for the result. Once you let your consciousness realize, if only for a moment, the peace and power of divine love, and you have donned a shield and buckler which shall preserve you in the day of trial, someday you will find our consciousness functioning within the radiant center where love is all creative and power is omnipotent and glory is unspeakable. There you shall meet the Great Mother face to face. That's just chapter 2. That's just chapter 2. Mind fucking blowing. Mind blowing. Why? Validates everything that I've been saying, has said, and further said. They're absolutely 100%. The only thing that I do question is the Earth becoming a sun, and there might be potentiality there. I don't know what timeline they're picking up on, but holy fucking shit, on it, on it. This is what we're all going through now, and if it wasn't for the fact that I had to start divine neutrality, I was led to do that, pulled in that direction. I'm a service to source. And because source is all things, source is good and evil, those of you who are a service to source, need to stick in neutrality because that is the way to God, source, creator, infinite intelligence, energy within, the light. straight shot forward through the light, through the darkness, in the middle. Once you can find balance in your poles, and yes, it's a process. I'm not there yet, nowhere near it, but I'm very close to a new dawn, to my new day. Don't know how, don't know why. Things are going to change, I hope. I can only hope that every downfall that I've ever had, which I'm in one now, you have to climb up somehow or lose it all and question life. But I'm going to say, holy fucking shit. I'm going to have to reread that 3 more times for myself to encapsulate all the points because they're brilliant. This section, it's only chapter 2. Brilliant. And it has a little tincture of nos confunding within the firmaments. Shit. I'm just awestruck. This is one of the best chapters in a book, besides Reconstructing Reality and maybe a few more, that this just, oh, hit here, hit home, here, it hit here. It was vibrating high. This is what we need to achieve. So if you think I'm speaking out of my ass, here's a book that just told you everything that I've been saying for the last 2 years, beautifully wrapped in beautiful wording from 1912, or whenever this book was made, but it was made in that era. Holy shit. Their work does, I, mm, amazement. Just, I'm amazed. I'm flawed and wow. Happy Monday. Wow, guys. Um, sorry for all the pausing though. As we can see, I'm barely getting any air out of the nose. I've been coughing. This is all allergies. Um, based on my blood work, I have an infection. Thankfully, I know how to read a lot of the blood work. Some stuff I'm like, what is this? Um, but for the most part, I know I can look it up, and what I have going on is an infection. So not contagious. People I work with, not contagious. Allergies. So I'm still dealing with this. Yesterday, We Not Me had a watch party and I watched. So I didn't make a video or anything. Also, I was exhausted, so I wanted a day to rest. Um, Back at it with the voice of Isis and holy fuck, jaw drop, amazement. I hope you guys find the same nuggets of goodies in there that I have. Please let me know in the comments. Thank you, Scott, who's always commenting and giving his brilliance in there, and all the other people. Thank you so much for your support. It would, first of all, I'd be reading these books regardless if I had a channel or not. I just like sharing the things that excite me. And you guys, this is like a book review live in a sense. I haven't read this book. Some books I've already read, but the wisdom in there and rereading things, you always get new things. And this just filled my heart, and it validates a lot for me, which is humbling, very humbling, because I don't like to steer people in any direction that would lead them astray. And so far, everything that this chapter brought, I'm as of one opinion here, I'm not. So, guys, sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulder, be the humongous lighthouse on the ocean, lighting up the dark sea, seed your truths, be the flow, be the light, be all of it. And we got this. We can do this together. Let's get going. Things are crazy. Thank you for all your support. And I thank everybody who's been trying to help me out. I really do appreciate it. It's really tough having to figure it out on my own. And not having real assistance and just navigating different avenues of loans and banks and interest rates. I'm not good with that stuff. Um, but here I am and back down again and that's not without trying. Like, it's not like I'm sitting home on my mom's couch watching shit and playing video games all day. Like, I'm working hard and I've always been doing that whole life. I know I have a tough path ahead, but deep breaths and let's hope that things turn out that I don't have to give up the channel and I could keep doing my shit and be happy. So until the next one, guys, thank you for your support and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.